Imagine being just 18 years old, wrongly convicted, and losing 54 years of your life behind bars. This is the powerful story of James Ellis, a man who turned unimaginable pain into resilience, faith, and music, culminating in a moment so moving it brought Barron Trump to tears during a public meeting on criminal justice reform. James's journey is one of unimaginable loss, but also unshakable hope. It's a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the power of faith. Today, we'll dive into his life, from the tragedy of his conviction to his miraculous release, and the unforgettable moment when his story touched the hearts of millions, including Barron Trump. Stay with us as we unravel this incredible tale of courage, forgiveness, and redemption. James Ellis grew up in a small Georgia town, a bright and ambitious teenager with dreams of becoming a musician. With his guitar in hand and a song in his heart, James was known for his kind spirit and a voice that could fill a room. But at just 18 years old, his world came crashing down. One night, a convenience store robbery turned deadly. The police were desperate to close the case, and James, who happened to match a vague description, became their target. There was no solid evidence, no fingerprints, and no motive. Yet, with no resources to mount a proper defense and no family to advocate for him, James was convicted of a crime he didn't commit. The courtroom verdict was swift: life in prison. "I'm innocent," James had pleaded, his voice breaking under the weight of despair. But his words fell on deaf ears. As he was led away in handcuffs, the dreams of a young musician were replaced by the cold reality of prison walls. The injustice was soul-crushing. James had never even been inside that store, yet his entire future had been stolen. He was thrown into a system that forgot his humanity, reduced to a number in a sea of faces. Prison was a harsh and unforgiving place, but for James it was a nightmare magnified by his innocence. The cell was cold, the days monotonous, and the nights unbearably lonely. The weight of knowing he didn't belong there was almost too much to bear. But even in the darkest corners of his mind, James found solace in two things: faith and music. With no guitar, no instruments, and no audience, he used the one thing he still had: his voice. Singing became his refuge, a way to remind himself that he was still human, still alive. "Music saved my soul," James would later say. His songs weren't just melodies, they were prayers, cries for hope, and reminders that even in despair there was something to hold on to. Over time, James's voice began to inspire those around him. Fellow inmates, many of whom had given up on life, found comfort in his songs. James also turned to faith. Every night he prayed for strength, for forgiveness, and for the truth to come to light. He led prayer groups, offering words of hope to men who had long forgotten what hope felt like. Despite losing everything, James refused to let bitterness consume him. Over the years, he became a symbol of resilience. His story and his songs echoed through the prison halls, a testament to the power of the human spirit. Decades passed, but James's faith never wavered. He held on to the belief that one day, justice would prevail. That day finally came, 54 years after James's nightmare began. A young lawyer named Emily Carter came across his case while researching wrongful convictions. The more she dug into the details, the more appalled she became. The lack of evidence, the recanted witness testimony, and the ignored appeals all pointed to one undeniable truth: James was innocent. Emily worked tirelessly, piecing together the evidence that had been overlooked for decades. With modern DNA testing and a renewed focus on justice, she built a case that could no longer be ignored. After months of hearings and legal battles, James's conviction was overturned. The day James walked out of prison, he was 72 years old. The sun felt warm on his face, a sensation he hadn't experienced in over half a century. Tears streamed down his cheeks as he took his first steps as a free man. The world had changed drastically, but James's faith remained unshaken. "I've lost so much," he said, "but I've also gained a story of hope, of faith, and of the resilience of the human spirit." James's story quickly gained national attention. He was invited to speak at a public meeting on criminal justice reform, an event that would forever change his life. Among the attendees was Barron Trump, who had taken an interest in the issue and wanted to hear first-hand accounts of the system's failures. When James took the stage, the room fell silent. He spoke with a voice that carried decades of pain, but also a profound sense of peace. "For 54 years, I was just a number," he began. "But even in the darkest moments, I held on to my faith. And today, I'm here to tell you that no matter how broken you feel, there is always hope." James shared his journey, his struggles, and the music that kept him alive. As he sang a hymn he had written in his cell, the room was moved to tears. His voice, aged but strong, carried the weight of his story. Barron Trump, sitting in the front row, was visibly emotional. Tears streamed down his face as he listened to James's words and music. After the speech, Barron approached James, embracing him tightly. "Your story has changed me," Barron said. "Thank you for showing us the true meaning of strength and forgiveness." James's story didn't just end with his release. It sparked a movement. His tale of resilience and hope inspired millions across the nation. Letters poured in from people who felt a renewed sense of purpose after hearing his story. Families fighting for loved ones in prison found hope in James's journey. His advocacy work led to tangible changes. Organizations began re-examining old cases, pushing for reforms in how evidence was handled and how convictions were reviewed. James became a sought-after speaker, sharing his story at events and rallies, always with the same message: faith and hope can carry you through anything. For James, the greatest reward was the lives he touched. From inspiring young people to pursue justice to giving former inmates a renewed sense of purpose, James's impact was immeasurable. He also started a foundation to support exonerees, helping them rebuild their lives after release. James Ellis's journey is a testament to the unyielding power of faith and the resilience of the human spirit. Despite losing 54 years of his life, he emerged not as a broken man, but as a beacon of hope. His story reminds us that even in the darkest moments there is light. Through his music, his faith, and his unwavering belief in justice, James has shown the world that it's never too late to make a difference. His journey touched countless lives, including that of Barron Trump, proving that one person's courage can inspire change on a global scale. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, like and subscribe for more inspiring videos.